Hi, I have never actually uploaded a video where I'm talking, so it's kind of weird, but I was watching a YouTuber, his name's Kyle Reed Music, and he was doing an iceberg video on car seat headrest, and I was just watching it. In the queue was a video that was like 5 albums that changed my life, and I was like, I could talk about that, so I'm gonna be talking about 5 albums that changed my life, and I'm gonna be so honest with you. I could put all of Bring Me the Horizon's discography on this. Like that band has changed my life alone. Like I love Bring Me the Horizon. I literally put 3 out of the 5 of these albums are Bring Me the Horizon just because they've had the biggest impact on me. So first on my list is Sempiternal by Bring Me the Horizon. It was released in 2013. This album has kind of a very heartfelt just a very comforting feeling to me because I listened to it whenever I was, the first time that I listened to Sempiternal, I was introduced to it by somebody who I held very close to me at the time, and it was something that we bonded over. And this goes for actually all of these albums, so I'm just throwing this out there now. Me and that person would talk about this album. We would, rank songs on it. Like we just had so much fun doing that stuff. But Sempiternal, its message, everything, every song has some sort of meaning that means something to me. Um, and it helps me whenever I feel upset. I listen to that, and it makes me feel like, oh, somebody understands how I feel. People have written music about this feeling that I can't seem to put into words myself. So, Oliver Sykes did an amazing job with this. I don't think it could have been better. Second on my list is That's the Spirit by Bring Me the Horizon. This album, I feel like it's better on like listening terms, on like how the songs were made. I just think it's a well put together album. I love this album. This was all that I listened to back in quarantine, like early 2021. Literally, just constantly listening to some song off that album. My favorite song is probably Follow You. It just has an important meaning to me. It reminds me of, coming home from school in 8th grade and sitting in my room and calling said person who I listened to these songs with and just listening to that song with him. And it was just a very, very nice time to be alive, to be honest. Could not have been better. That's the Spirit. Such an amazing album. I would watch all of the music videos and I would just absolutely gush over how good it is. This was also the first album that I got on vinyl when I got my record player, and it was so beautiful. Like the outside of the vinyl was just black, and you'd open it up, and it was like all of the colors, like just the theme. Oh my god, it was so pretty, and I wish I could open that Amazon package for the first time again because I felt it was amazing. I loved it. Also, I didn't mention this earlier. I'm losing my voice. I don't normally sound like this. So I apologize if like there's any voice cracks or anything. That's what's going on. So third on this list is Ammo by Bring Me the Horizon, which just so happens to be the person who I listened to this music with. That was his favorite album by this band. Released in 2019. It was a turn for this band. They were really heavy alternative like metal music, and then this album more of like there was some music on there that was a little bit heavier, but definitely more of like a step towards pop when they released this. There's actually a song on it called Heavy Metal. That's literally him explaining like what do you want? Like I'm writing music, I'm experimenting, and it's like nobody's listening to it because it's not heavy metal. You know what I mean? Like it was good. It was well done. This was just it was like a cultural reset. It was amazing. I love this album. Again, the songs on this album definitely remind me of like January of 2021. I know it was 2 years after it was released, but I would I would listen to these songs, and I would gush again. I would just gush, and I remember I went to the aquarium one day, the Georgia Aquarium, in January of 21, and on the way back, I didn't bring my headphones. I don't know why I didn't bring my headphones. But I did have my Switch. So what I did was I stopped at a drugstore and I went in there and I got really cheap wired earbuds. And I put my hotspot on my phone. I hooked it up to my Switch and I listened to Ammo on the way home that night on my Nintendo Switch Lite through YouTube. So that's always fun. The quality of it wasn't great because I had those little headphones. It was coming from a Switch, but the feeling was still there. It was amazing. I remember listening to Mantra. That was like my favorite song at that time. Mantra, Mother Tongue. I would look out of the window and I would just get it. I love Ammo. I had the most to say about this one, probably because I listened to it the most. Despite it not being my favorite, I definitely listened to Ammo the most. My fourth album on this list was me stepping towards less metal music and more like music like Car Seat Headrest writes. I don't really know what genre that falls into, but I loved it whenever I first listened to it. My first ever Car Seat Headrest song was from Teens of Denial. It was Drunk Drivers, and I remember listening to that, and I was just like, holy crap, this is so good. I was recommended this song from an old friend, and they showed it to me. Or, well, they told me to listen to Car Seat Headrest, and I was like, okay. And that just so happened to be, like, their most popular song. So I was listening to it, and I was getting it. I was like, okay, this is really good. I could see myself diving more into this band. That night, I listened to the entire Teens of Denial album, and I was like, this is awesome. Like, I really like this. So my favorite song off of Teens of Denial is Fill in the Blank, which I actually didn't really like that much at first. I was in the car with one of my friends. He was taking me home from school. I think this was this year, actually. And he played Fill in the Blank. And I was like, this sounds like so much better than it did when I first listened to it. So I started listening to it more and more, and I connected more and more to the lyrics, and it just made me feel good to listen to. So I definitely want to put this album on there just because it not only introduced me to like newer, better music that I just hadn't really like paid much attention to, I guess, and made me appreciate it more. Made me stop hating on anything that wasn't metal. I love Car Seat Headrest, and I listen to all kinds of music now. Like I actually ended up listening to earlier this year whenever Gorillaz released Cracker Island. I remember listening to that and I was just like, this is really good, and it's just not something that I normally would listen to. So that was awesome. I think my favorite song off of Cracker Island was probably Silent Running. It was also my first song because the day that the music video came out was the day that I listened to it for the first time, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. I love it. So yeah, Cracker Island, really good album. I do recommend. However, it's not on this list. The fifth and final album on this list is The Death of Peace of Mind by Bad Omens. Really good album. That's like all I can say about this. This album reminds me of kind of a lower point in my life where I needed some kind of like, this sounds corny, but I needed some kind of like muse. So I would listen to this and I would just feel better. The day that this came out, I was in English class, and I was in, it was early in the morning, and I had in my headphones, and I was just going through, oh, don't mind the hair on my shirt, but I was just going through the album in order, and I listened to the first bit of it, and I was like, this is really good, like, damn good job, Noah Sebastian, but the transitions between the songs on this album is so good. That's like, it's phenomenal. They did so good with this album, and it impacted me for sure. It helped me through a time in my life where I definitely needed something like there, to kind of pull me through. And this album did the job. It was amazing, and it gave me something to kind of gush over for a period of time. Like I picked this album, and I just spent like 2 or 3 weeks only listening to this album, and I was just in love with it. Like, they did phenomenal. Granted, they always do phenomenal. All of their discography is amazing. They're not really a super old band, but yeah, love Bad Omens. So that's pretty much it. Those are the 5 albums that I think have impacted me the most, made the most, changes to me as a person. And I know that's a lot to say, but music is literally like, I don't know, it's a part of me. So I don't think it's an understatement to say that these albums have changed my life. So that's why I made this video, because I saw some other people make it and I was like, I could do that, that's neat. But I think that without music, I wouldn't be who I am today, and I wouldn't have the tools to better myself and to make my headspace more clear, and also just my work environment. Like, whenever I'm doing stuff and if I'm listening to music, I just do so much better. But when I'm upset, it's like these people know how to put feelings into words, and it feels good because it's like somebody, I understand how this person feels. Like, I get it, like, wow. So that's that. That's all I can say. But thank you so much for watching this video, if you did watch this video. Again, thanks to Kyle Reed Music for giving me this idea, because I probably would not have made this video if I hadn't run across his. But yeah, bye guys, thank you for watching this video, and please recommend me more albums and stuff, because I love listening to new music. Don't really care what kind of music, I literally will listen to anything. However, I will say, not a crazy big country fan. I mean, I'll give it a shot, just not really my cup of tea, and that's okay. Everybody has genres that aren't their cup of tea, that's fine. But do give me some recommendations, I will listen, and I'll probably end up making another video at some point about more music. But I just wanted to talk about these albums because I love them. They've helped me, they've changed me, and I just thought it'd be really neat to talk about it. So thanks again, and bye guys.